Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today my name is Kosi. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're first time coming across my video. On today's video, I will share with you guys on how to make a copied corset with a Basque waistline and a puffy sleeve. So guys, if this sound like something you're interested to know, definitely keep on watching and let's get into today's video. So guys, these are the fabrics I'll be working with. Here I have my African print of 2 yards. Then I have my bra cup. I have size 36 for my bra cup, and here is my zipper. And I have my boning, original boning, the sewable one. This is it. Then this is my lining of 2 yards, and this is my elastic because going to have a puffy sleeve. So guys, go ahead and fold your pattern paper by 2. If you must achieve or cut corset, you must use your pattern paper for your drafting. You get, go ahead and fold your pattern paper by 2, or your brown paper, anyone you choose. So right here, I'm going to use the upper part of my pattern paper for my shoulder line. So I'm marking 7 inches. The first line is 7 inches. The second line is 12.5 inches. Then the third line is 16 inches. The fourth line is 20 inches. And the last one is going to be 23 inches. I will explain what those lines are. You have to take it step by step gradually. So use your ruler to extend the lines after you are done marking. You get, so I'm going to label the upper part as my shoulder line. Can you see? So the 7 inches is actually my armhole line. Go ahead and label yours like that. Then the second line is under bust, which is the 12.5 inches. The third line is my waistline, which is the 16 inches. The top length I have there is the 20 inches I marked earlier, and the full length is the 23 inches because it's going to have a basque. You get, so after doing this, I will come to the shoulder line and I'll divide my shoulder by 2, and I'll add half inch for the seam allowance. You get, so for my armhole, I'll divide my bust circumference by 4 like this, and I added extra 2 inches for the seam allowance. Then my under bust, I did the same thing. Go ahead and divide your under bust circumference by 4, add your 2 inches. Then your waistline, divide your waist circumference by 4, make a point there and add your 2 inch for your seam allowance. On the top length, divide your hip circumference by 4. Mine is 36, divided by 4 is 9. I made a point there and I added extra 2 inches for my seam allowance, and I went ahead to extend the line. So right here, I will connect those points to meet the top length line. You get, so this is how we are going to do yours. So after I was done marking, I will extend my armhole line. You get, I'll extend my armhole line like this. Then I will come up on the chest line by 1 inch. Then I'll make a curve for my armhole. This is my armhole curve. You get, all right. So after doing this, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go ahead and cut it off. So after I was done cutting, this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to come in by half of an inch on the center front of my pattern paper. Go ahead and come in by half of an inch. You can set to make yours 1 inch, you get, but me, I want to make my half inch. So extend the line. Then after doing this, you are going to bring your bra cup right now. Then keep one aside and take one. Place one of your bra cup this way. Just make sure that your bra cup, the edge, as in the edge of your bra cup that faces the center front, make sure it's very close to the point you marked half inch on your center front, and also make sure that it's half inch away from your under bust line. Can you see? You cannot come and place your bra cup exactly on the under bust line. You're going to give it a space of half inch. Do you understand what I'm saying? Give it a space of half inch on your under bust, and from your front pattern, just place your bra cup. Make sure that the edge of your bra cup is exactly at the point you measured the half inch. Do you understand? If you don't understand what I'm saying, take a good look at what I'm doing, because I am trying so hard to explain it the way you guys would understand. You get? So watch from this other side and see what I'm doing here. Connect from that point, you get? So from that, after doing that, you're going to retake your bust circumference to ensure is what that you ensure you have exactly what you measured when drafting. So right here, I measured mine and I have exactly the same thing. So what I'm going to do is to connect those points. So from the bra cup, the edge of my bra cup that faces the armhole line, I am going to from there trace it. I will trace the line to meet that point there, you get? So I hope you understand what I'm saying, and I hope you already understand everything I am sketching and drafting, you get? I hope you understand. So after doing this, use your scissors and cut it off. If you don't understand it, as you can see, I'm cutting it off, so you should, you know exactly what I did, you get? So go ahead and cut it off, you get? So after cutting it off, this is how it's looking. So right here, I'm going to replace the bra cup to be ensure I got it correctly. So right here, can you see that everything is intact? So this is it. This is how your own should look like after you are done cutting out. So we are going to make a straight line like this, because we are not going to leave it as slant. It's supposed to be straight, you get? So this is it. I'm replacing it again, and this is what I have. Can you see? So after doing this, I am going to divide my nipple to nipple by 2. Then I will mark whatever I have. Mine is 7 inches, divided by 2 is 3.5. So you go ahead and make yours like that. After drawing a straight line, I'm not going to cut it off. I am not cutting it off. So if you want to cut your own off because of the dart, you can go ahead and cut it off after you already marked your nipple to nipple, you get? Cut it off and also slash the center front. Then after that, you are going to rejoin it, then you continue. So this is it, guys. So the next thing I will go ahead to do right now, is basque that we are making, you get? So right here, this is my waistline. I placed my tape and I got the 16 inches for my waistline, and I labeled it so that you guys will understand what is going on here. So I'm not going to start from my exactly waistline. I'm not going to start exactly on my waistline. I'll come down by 2 inches, you get? Then I'll use my ruler to make a slant, you get? The slant is going to meet the center front, you get? Can you see what I just did? So this is how you make yours, you get? So I'll go ahead and cut it off. So this is what I have, and this is all for the front pattern. So for the back pattern, you're going to go ahead to fold your pattern paper by 2. So you're going to mark 1 inches because it's going to have zip. So mark 1 inches for your zipper allowance. So this is my 1 inch for my zipper allowance. And I brought out my front pattern to place on the back pattern, and I'm going to trace the side like this. So go ahead and trace yours like this. After I was done, I'm going to remove the front pattern, and I'll use my ruler to make it a straight line. I'll do the same thing on the upper side. So this is how yours should look like when you are done. So after doing this, I'm going to get my waistline, which is 16 inches. I'll extend it with my ruler, and I'll also divide my nipple to nipple by 2, I'm marking my 3.5 like I told you guys earlier, and I'm making a straight line. So guys, from my waistline I'm coming out by 1/2 inch on the both side. Then I'll make a slant this way. Then this is it. This is what I have after I was done. So I'll label it as my waistline. Then I'll go ahead and cut it off. So I'm not going to cut the dart off. The place I marked my dart, I'm not cutting it off. I'll not cut it off. But if you want to cut yours off, you can only go ahead and cut the straight line. Don't go and cut out the slanted one. Oh, you get. So after I was done, I labeled the back, and this is all for the front and the back pattern. So right here, this is my fabric. I'm working with this beautiful African print. So right here, I folded my African print by 2, and I went ahead to hold it with my pin. So right here, I'm going to use my chalk to trace these lines, you get. But before then, I marked 1 inch at the end of my fabric, can you see? And I marked 1/2 inch on the side of the fabric like this. So I'm going to connect those points. So if you draft with your pattern paper, when cutting on your actual fabric, do not go and cut exactly what you have on the pattern paper. Give it 1/2 inches all the way around like you see me doing. So guys, this is it, can you see? So right here, I'll go ahead to cut it off. So guys, after I was done cutting, I'll go ahead to cut out the back pattern. So right here, ensure your fabric is still on fold like this. Go ahead and cut your back pattern, giving it 1/2 inch all the way around like this. So after you are done cutting it off, so this is what you will have. It should be like this, 1/2 inch all the way around. So I later went ahead to slash my bust, my nipple to nipple, you get. So go ahead and do yours like that if you want to slash it. I later slashed it because it will be very easy for me to make my bias. So go ahead and do yours like that, and slash the center for your zipper, you get. Also make sure you notch it. So I am just making a mark there to know the back. So right here, I went ahead to cut out the lining for all the pieces, both the front and the back piece. So I went ahead to cut out the lining. And another thing I did was that after cutting the lining and the fabric equally length, I went ahead to remove the fabric, and I removed 1/2 inch from the lining, you get. So after cutting yours, go ahead to remove 1/2 inch from the lining, you get, to avoid after sewing with your lining, the lining will be showing up, you get. So go ahead and remove 1/2 inch so it will not affect it after you are done sewing. So to cover your bra cup, what you're going to do is to measure from that edge to this point. I have 8.2 inches. Go ahead and measure yours like that. On this pattern paper, the length I have here on the pattern paper is 16 inches, and the wideness is 8 inches. So go ahead and fold it like you see me doing. So after folding it, you're going to get the midpoint. Can you see the line is already there? I'll use my marker to make it very visible for you all to see. Then after that, I'll get the midpoint. You get, the midpoint is 4 inches. Then right now I am going to make a straight line with my ruler like this. So after this, I am going to mark 4 inches. I will use 4 inches to make a circle this way. So use whatever you have or you got from your bra cup, use it and make a circle. But if you're somebody that's very busty, you can use 5.5 inches or 6 inches. If you're bust 42, 45, you get use for 5.5 inches. So after I was done cutting, I went ahead to fold it by 2, the circle. I went ahead to fold the circle by 2 like this. So right now, what I want to do is to come at the end. I'll just subtract 1 inch. You get, just mark 1 inch from the end there, then use your ruler to connect it from the midpoint. So this is how it should look like after you are done. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. So after doing this, you're going to cut it off. After cutting it off, you're going to place it on the other paper and cut it off as well. Then after doing this, I will place it on my fabric and I'll cut out the remaining one. So right here, I went ahead to place this on my actual fabric, you get. So I want to use this design side. I want to use it for my cup, you get. So I'm marking 1 inches, you get. So go ahead and mark yours, but if you're marking yours, just mark 1.5 inches. Don't mark this 1 inches I marked. Mark 1.5 inches. If you are too busty, you can mark 2 inches, you get. Go ahead and do it like that. Then I will go ahead and trace all those lines and I will sketch all of the lines out like this. After doing this, I am going to cut it off. Then after cutting it off, I'm going to as well cut out the second cup, you get. After cutting out the second cup, I'll cut out another extra 2 for our lining, you get. So go ahead and do yours like that. So guys, right here I want to go ahead to make my bias. So I will divide my center front, you get. I will divide it by 2 that way. Then I'm going to make a straight line like this. Then after doing this, I'll divide my bust span by 2. I'll mark what I have there and I'll also make a straight line. And after making this straight line, I am going to repeat the same thing on the other side, you get. So go ahead and do yours like that. So another thing I want to let you know is that I am not going to sew bias on this that side, you get. I just mark this line for a guide because I want to style my bias. I want to sew it stylish one, you get. So go ahead and make yours, but if you want to make your bias, you can also go ahead and sew your bias on your dart. But for me, I'm not sewing it on the dart, you get. This is a different style, you get. I know some of you know these styles a lot, so go ahead and make whichever style you prefer, you get. So after that, I marked 2 inches on the side using my dart line. I marked 2 inches. So the dart, it was for a guide, you get. The dart was for a guide. So right here we'll go ahead and sew those darts. So guys, this is what I have after I was done sewing my bias. This is how beautiful it's looking. Can you see? So I'll let her go ahead and clean up the chalk. So right here, this is my back piece. I want to go ahead to join it. You get, so go ahead and join your back piece with half of an inch. You get, so go ahead and join it. So this is going to serve as the dart. Then after joining the back piece, I'm going to go ahead and join the lining as well. So after I was done joining the both lining, I'll go ahead to sew my bias on the line, on the dart line, you get. So make sure when you're sewing this, make sure you open your seam allowance, you get, and sew. Then I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So guys, this is the both piece. As you can see, I went ahead to sew my bias, and right now I want to insert my boning. So for this boning, I realized that the wideness was bigger than my own bias, so I went ahead to slash it by 2. So so it will be very easy to insert. So right here, another thing I want to let you guys know is that when inserting your bony, just make sure that your bias and the length of the bony you have is not of the same size. Make sure you remove at least 1 inch away from your bony, you get. So it will allow you sew the end very well when you are sewing. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You get, what I mean is that you should make sure that the length of the boning you have and the length of the bias you are inserting it inside is not of the same length, you get. Make sure that you removed 1 inch away from the boning, you get, before inserting or before sewing with your lining. So right here, I'm covering my bra cup, you get. I'm covering my bra cup this way. So I'll use my pin to hold it in place. Then after holding it with my pin, I'll go ahead and sew. I'll also repeat the same thing on the second cup. So guys, after sewing, it's time for me to cover my inside cup with my fabric. So right here, just go ahead and pull it out like this. Pull your bra cup outside, just push it outside and sew. Then this is what I have after I was done sewing. Can you see how it's looking? It's looking so fine. So guys, this is what I have after I was done. Can you see the back up is looking so fine, and my front and the back piece is also looking very fine. Then the secret of this beautiful structure is that whenever you are done inserting your boning, just go ahead and iron it. Make sure you iron it very well. Iron everywhere you inserted your boning, so it's looking so fine. And I went ahead to iron my lining. As you can see, everything is looking so beautiful, you get. So I expect yours to look like this, you get. So right here, I'm using my pin to pin them in place because I want to go ahead and sew this, you get. So let me just quickly explain. Go ahead and pin yours. Then after pinning the both side and everything, even the down part, after pinning everything, you're going to first of all sew the upper part of your fabric, you get. Just sew the upper part because it has lining, so you're going to sew it. But before then, I will advise you first of all, because of the turn up, you removed ½ inch from our lining, you get. So go ahead and first of all sew the down part of the fabric before now sewing the upper part and the sides because of the turn up, you get. So I'm going to go ahead to sew here Then after sewing there, I will sew the both sides, sew here like this, you get. Then after sewing it this way, I'm going to sew the upper part here like this. I'll sew it and I also sew here. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing on the back piece, you get. I'm going to sew the back piece. You all know how to sew back piece now, you know, turn up and everything. So let's sew. Right here I am sewing it. As you can see, just look at how I'm doing it. So guys, after I was done sewing, this is what I have. Can you see? So I've done sewing my lining and everything. So this is how it looks like. Can you see? So right here I'll go ahead and sew my back piece with my lining. So guys, for my bra cup I went ahead to cut out 1 inch. So I want to use this for my piping. I supposed to use my black bias for it, but unfortunately the thing already finished, so I said to use the same fabric for the piping. So go ahead and do yours with your bias, you get. Then I'll do the same thing on the second cup. So right here, this is what I have after I was done piping. Can you see how it's looking? So you're going to go ahead and pipe here as well with your bias. For a neat finishing, please go ahead and pipe there with your bias as well. So guys, this is what I have. For me, I did not pipe with my bias, you get, but pipe yours with your bias for a nice and a neat finishing. So this is the lining. I went ahead to sew the lining on all the pieces I have. Can you see? So the next thing to do right now is to fix my zipper for my back piece. So I have my zipper with me. I am going to head over to my sewing machine and sew my zipper later, you get. So right here for the front piece, I'll go ahead and join it as well on with my machine. So let's go. So after I was done fixing my zipper, I'll go ahead to fix my bra cup, because some people sometimes ask me, Kosi, how do you fix your bra cup, this and that. So this is how I fix my bra cup, you get. This is how I fix my bra cup. After doing this, I'm going to repeat the same thing on the second one. So right here, I'm done doing the first one, then I'll go ahead to do the second one, and I'll show you guys how it looks like. So guys, this is what we have here. Can you see? This is my bra cup. I went ahead to fix the both bra cups. So I'm going to later cover this up with bias. So this is the zipper. Can you see how beautiful it's looking? So right now I'm going to pull this and pin them in place. I want to go ahead to shape it. So right here, divide your bust circumference by 2. This time around, you're going to divide by 2, not by 4. Divide by 2, whatever you have, divide it by 2 and mark. At the waistline, divide your waist circumference by 2, whatever you have, remeasure it and divide it again by 2. So this is how you are going to do. So this is the waistline you are dividing. Do not divide your hip measurement here. Just divide the waist and the bust measurement if you are making this type of basque, you get. So I'm going to retake whatever I have there and I'll add it here again. Then we'll be right back. So guys, after I was done shaping my dress, this is how it looks like. Can you see how it's looking so fine? This is the back, you get. So if you want to know if you have an accurate measurement after shaping your dress, go ahead and retake your measurement. As you can see, I am retaking mine and I have exactly my bust and my waist measurement exactly, you get. So go ahead and do yours like that. So guys, for my sleeve, this is my elastic. I already went ahead to cut my sleeve, but the length I have here is 14 inches and the wideness is 16 inches and a half. That is what I have, and I'm going to go ahead to fold the up and the down for my elastic. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So right here, I'm done sewing. This is what I have. Can you see the sleeve? So this is what I have. So right now I am going to bring my blouse. I already marked half inch from the both side of my blouse. I went ahead to mark 1.5 inches and I measured exactly half 1.5 inches on the sleeve as well. So I have 1.5 inches on the sleeve and I also have 1.5 inches for the top on the armhole side. So if you're making this for someone that is big or you're making it for yourself, you can decide to come by 2 inches, you get, to 2 inches or 3 inches. So this is what I have after I was done sewing. Can you see what I have here? So this is it. This is all for corsets, copied corsets with a basque waistline and puffy sleeve. So this is all for this class. So guys, thank you so much for participating and watching. I'll see you guys on my next one.